All right, so here I am in VS Code, and I'm not going to cover the steps to install VS Code, but you guys can get it from the links below our video here. So once you do that, you also want to install a Claude Code plugin for VS Code, right? And once you do that, you see this little icon here. This is your Claude Code agent, right, inside VS Code. So I have my coding agent here, Claude Code, running inside VS Code. And I'm gonna start it off. And the very first thing I'm gonna do by hitting Shift Tab on my keyboard is to switch it to plan mode, because of the very first step of a new project. That's the plan that you want to be with Claude Code, because it will create a comprehensive to-do list of what it needs to create. So let's paste that prompt that GPT-5, our LLM, created, so we could give to Claude Code. When you hit Command V here or Control V, you see that it says pasted text 1 for 2 lines. That's okay. Just hit Enter after that. You will be able to see the whole prompt that we copy from our LLM. And you see here that Claude Code is already starting to work here. So it's saying, okay, researching Mulesoft project structure, and so on. So it's gonna, like I mentioned, it's gonna start to put together a to-do list, a comprehensive to-do list of everything it needs to create for you with the magic of vibe coding. All right, so here's what it created for us. So here's Claude's plan, right? So create a new like different project structures, right? For a Mulesoft API, Node.js, components to create. So everything that we asked the LLM to create on this planning mode of Claude Code, which is really powerful, it created this to-do list and it asked us if we want to proceed, right? So I'm going to say yes. I'm just hit enter here. And I'm going to say yes and auto accept edits, right? So it actually, when you do that, after you use plan mode to create your game plan, right, it switches to the regular mode, which is the vibe coding mode, where it will start creating files. So it's creating my Open API Swagger specification for my new Mulesoft API. That's the one that I need to add to my endpoint account, right, on Mulesoft, before I actually create my Mulesoft API application. All right, so you see it already started creating some files. Let's look at the files it started to create here. So we created my Open API specification. Claude Code knows how each project needs to be structured in terms of directories and folders and subfolders and the types of files. So it starts creating that file system structure for you here under the Explorer tab in VS Code as well. So it looks good. Now we can just copy and paste this inside endpoint. And it's also going to start to create the Mulesoft application after that. So you can see it created this other directory here, which already has a XML for our new API, which is pretty powerful. It has all the different endpoints that we asked, our LLM to tell Claude Code to create, right, for our new Mulesoft application. So as you can see, this is pretty powerful, right? I didn't have any coding experience on Mulesoft on this case here. So this is really useful for me as a developer, because I can just put together, applications that I had zero experience, right? That I had no past experience on how to create. And Claude Code even tells me what to do next. Okay, so go ahead and paste this API specification under Mulesoft endpoint platform, under the designer, and so on. And it also tells me how to deploy this to endpoint, which is also pretty powerful. Claude Code can interact with any CLIs that run inside your file system as a developer. So we can, install the different Heroku CLI, the GitHub CLI, different ones that can make it the deployment part of the new application is really easy as well. So it looks like you already created the scripts for my new Postgres database. Let's take a look at how that looks. All right, so it's creating the different user tables, the PTO balance tables, create PTO career goals, and so on, the OAuth tokens to allow authentication, right? So you can basically copy these and run inside a tool like pgadmin once you create your Postgres database in Heroku, and your entire database will be created, out of these scripts as well. And by the way, you can also ask Claude Code after it finishes with this first set of tasks to create data inside these tables as well. So probably create a CSV file for each of the tables with sample data that you can just import into your new Postgres database as well. All right, so look at that. It's creating our web application that for a registration and login page as well. So it just created a Node auth service. So it's app.js. So this is a Node.js application. Still working through that. Probably creating the HTML as well. So again, pretty powerful. Used to take days as a developer to create just one of these apps. And now you can create this with best practices using these vibe coding tools really fast. It also created a db.js, so it looks like it's connecting that web application to my Postgres database, right? So which is pretty cool as well. Didn't have to create any of this. So yeah, it's working on the Node.js application files. All right, so it looks like it finished the initial part of the job. So it tells you exactly, the coding agent here, Claude Code, tells you exactly a summary of the files it created. So our Open API specification, our Mulesoft API, so just the bare bones of that new API application for Mulesoft, a Postgres SQL schema, and Node.js authentication service web application as well. So next step. So this is what's pretty cool as well about Claude Code. It tells you what to do next, right? So set up a Heroku Postgres and run the schema.sql file, which we have, here, schema.sql. So configure environment variables in .env files, install dependencies, import Mulesoft project to Endpoint Studio, replace placeholders for secrets and connection strings, implement OAuth 2, complete Salesforce integration, were marked to do. All right, so starting with item number 1, you can get a free Heroku environment in case you don't already have one by going to heroku.com and clicking on Get Started Now. And then you fill out the form and it will generate you a free account. After you set up your Heroku account, this is what the landing page or dashboard looks like. So here you can see all the different applications that you have hosted on Heroku. And this is my SQL database, right? My Postgres SQL database. So this is what it looks like when you host a SQL database in Heroku. You need to add an add-on, Heroku Postgres. And you can see the different resources and so on. And once you have your Postgres database add-on set up in Heroku, you would use a tool such as pgadmin to sign into your Heroku Postgres database and then run that script that Claude Code created for you. Right, so this is my database. So you would open that database and then you could do something like query tool. And then if we go back to Claude Code here on VS Code, we go to that schema.sql, we copy that script and we would paste it on pgadmin and execute that script to create our database and the different database tables. I've already done that. So here are my tables. So if we scroll down to schema and tables, These are the different tables that got created by running that script that Claude Code provided us. So once we have our database created, let's go back to Claude Code. And really the next steps, I mean, you go down the list. So you would configure environment variables, install dependencies. Let's skip to item number 4, which is just to import the Mulesoft project in Anypoint Studio. So if you go to anypoint.mulesoft.com, you will get to the sign-in page. So this is the SaaS environment for Mulesoft, where you would host your Mulesoft API. And you can also get a free account by clicking on sign up and filling out this form. I believe it's a trial, so you can try for a couple of days. But let me log into my account and show you how it looks like. So once you have your account set up, this is what the landing page looks like. And so you have different management tools here: API management, runtime management, and so on. Let me go to the design center, as I want to show you how you would add your design file for a new API. So we click on create new API specification. You would give it a name. In our case, it's OAS2 and YAML. You would create the API design, and then this is where we want to go back to Claude Code and get that and copy that design file content and paste it here. So here is the file that, as you guys recall, we asked Claude Code to create for us. I'm going to copy that and paste it inside my new API design file on Mulesoft Anypoint. And you will click on publish after that to publish that API in the Mulesoft Anypoint Exchange. And this is really the very first step, is to create your design file inside Anypoint. But let's go back to Claude Code, if we recall correctly here on our to-do list, Claude Code was asking us on item number 4 to import Mulesoft project in Anypoint Studio. And the cool thing about Claude Code and these coding agents is that you can ask follow-up questions in case you don't understand any of the steps or you need more detailed information. So for sake of time, I asked here, Claude Code, help me on steps to import Mulesoft project in Anypoint Studio. So it provided us the step-by-step here, which is to download and install Anypoint Studio, and then open the file, the pom.xml file that it created when we first asked Claude Code to create the bare bones of all these applications, right? If you already have VS Code, you don't actually need to download Anypoint Studio, the desktop IDE from Mulesoft. You can actually use VS Code itself. So let me show you how I did that. So the very first thing is to create a new window on VS Code. And once you do that, you want to go to the extensions part of VS Code, type in Anypoint, and download all the different Anypoint extensions from Salesforce. And once you do that, you will notice that this icon, Mulesoft Anypoint Code Builder, shows up on this left pane, meaning that it's ready for you to start to import your pom.xml created by Claude Code on that other VS Code window, our vibe coding project window, let's call it that. And for the sake of time, I'll show you what happens after that, right? So once you do that, you can see here that all the different files created for our API based on that pom.xml import are created. So, and once you have that, you can just open actually another Claude Code on this separate window here of VS Code. And you can just ask to help you deploy this to Anypoint platform. And what it will do, it will create you a jar file that you can just import it inside Anypoint platform itself. So once you have the jar file, you will go to Runtime Manager. You will click on deploy application. In my case, I have done that already. And import your jar file, and your API will be created. As you can see, in my case, it's up and running. So it's now available for any client application on the internet to start interacting with this API. And once our API is up and running, let's now ask Claude Code to help us deploy our web application, our registration page that it created with Node.js on Heroku. So let's ask something like, help me deploy the web registration web app. And then you can mention Node.js to Heroku as well. And let's see what Claude Code provides us here. All right, so here is what Claude Code provided us. So we created some files, some deployment script files, and it's even checking if the Heroku CLI is installed in my machine, which is pretty cool because it will be able to automate deployment. And it provided a complete guide, right? So it says you need a Heroku account, so sign up, which we have already done. Install the CLI, which we have already done as well, the Heroku CLI. And it provided us some steps here. It even provided us some costs for the different Heroku tiers, which is pretty cool as well and helpful. And after it provided this game plan, right, on how to deploy to Heroku, you could just ask something like, can you deploy it for me using the Heroku CLI? One of the coolest things about Claude Code is that you can interact with any CLI installed in your file system. So it will open up now the Heroku CLI, ask me to sign into Heroku, and it would then initiate the deployment on my behalf. And back to Heroku, this is our web application, right? So this is what it just got deployed by Claude Code, the Node.js app that we're going to use for our registration and sign-in page for our new API.